Hello, and welcome to our ImpactWayv podcast series, Making an Impact. I'm Karen Talamelli, and today my guest is Anjali Phougat. Designer Anjali Phougat is a well-known name in the fashion industry. Anjali is the founder of US-based and internationally known South Asian luxury brand Designer Dream Collection. And welcome, Anjali. I can spend all our time together just speaking to your many accomplishments and the impact you have made professionally and personally. But if you don't mind, can I ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, Karen. First of all, thank you so much for having me on your platform. It's truly honor and pleasure speaking to you. Like you said, I can spend all my time chatting with you. But coming back to the point, a little bit about myself. Thank you for a beautiful introduction. Um, I am based in Ohio, founder of South Asian brand called Designer Dream Collection, and I'm a woman trying to live my passion, my dream. I did not give up on my dream. I always wanted to be designer ever since I was 16. I win beauty pageant, state level beauty pageant in India, called Miss Haryana, and I was going for Miss India, but got married and came to US, and did not give up on my passion for beauty. And because there are different people, there are a lot of pageants out there, and people see women as a beautiful thing. Like, people look at their height, look at their beautiful face, look at how beautiful one woman is. But pageants have truly different meaning. It's not just how someone look beautiful outside, it's more about how much difference we all together make in the world. And that's what my fashion line is about. I create beautiful things, but above all, I try to support women who are beautiful inside and outside. And I continue to do my work in pageantry industry, fashion industry, worked with a lot of Bollywood and Hollywood celebrities, and I design clothing and jewelry both.
And beautiful clothing and jewelry indeed. And I know that you are very committed to sustainability in fashion. And we do know that fashion is the second largest polluting industry in the world. And right now, there is a lot of focus on sustainability in fashion. As a designer, what practices do you follow to reduce land waste?
So, beautifully said, Karen. 70% of cloth goes to landfill waste, which is a very hard fact and very, very sad. And as a women owned small business, I try to focus on recycling. So when we say recycling, there can be so many different ways we can promote sustainability and recycling, such as reusing old garment. I came up with this idea in my last New York Fashion Week collection launch, which was last year in September. And we gathered fabric from different stores, such as tulle, leftover fabric, which is, literally waste. People just throw away that fabric, and we used non-toxic dyes to save environmental pollution, to create those pieces. Also, those pieces what I create for New York Fashion Weeks, I use those pieces for fashion shows in Ohio State University. Every year there is a fashion show called Unchained Fashion Show, which is focusing on, this is basically a fundraiser fashion show to collect the fund for human trafficking victim education. So we donate those pieces to vulnerable women in domestic violence victims or used for fashion shows. We do not throw away those pieces. So we donate to vulnerable people so they can use it and give this message out on runway. And every runway, when I'm creating a new collection, I reuse pieces from our old collection. And I started another thing with my brand. We started taking back our pieces. Say, for example, if someone has purchased one piece, We will take it back after they're done using multiple of uses, they're done with that piece. We take that piece, offer them discount, and put it into a new collection. We reuse that fabric into a new collection. So we are coming up with new wool collection, because wool, I feel, is a most sustainable. Yarn and wool are most sustainable. We can just knit something and reuse it over and over. So those small things we did. And in fact, the most fun show I recently did with Columbus Fashion Council, the show name was Garbage Fashion something. We can check it online and on my Instagram as well, where I created this piece with my daughter. We created a couture piece with a newspaper. So the message is, we can create couture with anything, and that piece we created to give message about sustainability and recycling. And we try to use recycled fabric and recycled metal for jewelry as well, such as we melt old metal and create pieces from those old metal and create new pieces.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, what incredible ways. And then to take the designs back,
Yes, and we
what a wonderful way to, I mean, these are things that, I never heard of, with the upscaling at different ways to address, but taking the clothes back and reusing them in your collections.
yes, not even taken back, Karen. We offer them some discounts when someone bring their old piece back, just to encourage them. Do not throw away. So we can even donate in goodwill, donate to someone needy, so that piece can be reused. Also, for sustainability, I would like to say this thing and add on to that. There are a lot of brands, like cheap brand, I will not name any, where
Mhm.
they are creating very cheap fabrics, such as $10 clothing, $5, one time wear. And just imagine, people are buying those pieces in bulk for social media photos and just throwing.
Right.
It's not a good practice, and I focus on creating less pieces but quality pieces, which you can wear it over and over. And I'm stylist as well, where I create lot of editorial shoots and shows different ways to use one piece in multiple different ways. So when you are done wearing one piece, you can come up with creative idea and wear same piece again on a different occasion, just by tweaking the style of that piece.
No, I totally agree. And it's a great way. I mean, even growing up, I did not have a lot. I couldn't really afford to buy trendy things. I had to buy the classics that would last longer and accessorize. You could change the look of some classic pieces quite easily. And I noticed they did, you use non-toxic dyes, which that's, another major concern with a lot of water pollution in the industry. And you seem to be addressing that as well in your efforts.
Yes, absolutely. Because dyes have very heavy amount of chemicals, and when that's mixed in water, and it is really toxic for the nature. And people are creating, like, especially from a designer industry. If we talk about new collection, lot of big designers, they come up with a new collection and they just burn their pieces, so nobody can get access at the small price. I feel that's a very important cause to raise awareness about. We can use handmade non-toxic dyes and save environment. It's a very this thing has a very major contribution in polluting the environment. So I thought it's a great idea to use and promote non-toxic dyes and promote small labor, because non-toxic dyes are homemade, handmade dyes, and they are totally 100% chemical free, and they help in saving the environment a lot, and water as well, because it's like all mixed up in the water.
Yeah, it's major. Well,
Major.
thank you. And, I think this is an important topic. And I'm glad we've got a chance to talk about sustainability in fashion. And, I know this, the people who walk for you are incredibly proud of that component, you feel like you're doing something incredibly meaningful, which clearly they are. But you have been a regular in fashion weeks, and your looks are quite unique in their style. I love your use of color. And it must be incredibly rewarding to see your designs that appear very personal, so well received. Can you tell us about your vision for the collections you launch?
Um, so my recent collection that I launched, the vision, I created that collection with my daughter, and I feel so proud of my daughter by telling this, because that time we all were going through COVID. It was such a dark time. The collection name was Bedazzle the Day.
Oh,
She wanted to add that sparkle, that dazzle in everyone's life through that collection. And there was a message of recycling and sustainability. And we used a lot of jewels, gems, where we hand pasted a lot of gems to add that sparkle and that moment of happiness in everyone's life. It
oh,
was television, COVID was dark time, and she wanted to come up with really sparkly, blingy and happy collection. We added a lot of big flowers, petals, nature colors like cool earth tones. It was such a beautiful vision, and every time we come up with a new vision, and this February I'm coming up with a new purpose, new vision. Lot of Miss Universe delegates are walking for me, lot of beauty queens from Indian pageants are walking for me, and I cannot wait to reveal this collection.
oh, and I'm looking so forward to seeing it. You know, I love the your vision, and you create just such lovely light, and it just reflects in everything you do. I read that you had said beauty has no age and no barriers. I love how you support strong, accomplished women whose true beauty is from within. The women that will walk for you, as you mentioned, some of them are leaders in their professional lives and in the causes they support, truly making an impact well beyond the runway. What causes do you support?
So I'll come to this point, Karen. I support a lot of causes, but let's discuss that. Beauty has no age, because beauty pageants always are for a certain age group of women. I believe heart never grows old. I can proudly say I'm 40. I do not feel any older than 16 or 18. My heart is still as young, and I do not believe in models. I believe in role models. If someone is supporting those causes, I feel like it is important to create bigger platforms so their voices are heard. And I feel there's a power in voices. When people listen to leaders speaking about good causes, they follow great practices. And speaking about the causes, I support recycling, sustainability in fashion industry. Uh, in the past, I have worked with some NGOs for a TV show where I styled some women who were victim of domestic violence. So that cause is very close to my heart, because some women come from different countries, get married here, and they don't know how to protect themselves, how to take help from law. So I donate a lot of my pieces to victim of domestic violence and human trafficking awareness. I do this show every year with State of Ohio students, where I design pieces for fundraiser where all the funding would go towards the victims of human trafficking. I feel this awareness and knowledge is very important among youth, and we need to do every possible thing. I like to take my daughter on that show so she can learn different ways how social media is out there. Everybody have access to Google, right? It's so easy to go online and access um, online platforms, search anything. And this is a very sad fact, Karen. The easy access to online platform to youth is very scary because they don't know what is right, and a lot of people are trapped in human trafficking through those online portals. It is important to talk about it openly, learn and break those stigmas, break those stereotypes, listen to those stories so you are aware what is the right way, how to be safe, how to safely use social media platform. And it gives me really big joy to design my collection for those causes.
That's wonderful that you use your time and talent and so incredible. I find that I did the same when my son was, your daughter's age to um, introduce them to, the issues, but the ways that you could help and address. We would go to, actually, there was a domestic violence event, awareness event every year. It was bowling and pizza, and all him and his friends would go, but they were very much aware of why they were doing it. You could have fun, but it has meaning and it has impact, and that awareness, especially about the unfortunately the ill effects of online usage.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes, and every year on my daughter's birthday and anniversary, there's one thing I would like her to do, and I do this with her, to give food to homeless people, because I want her to see the reality of life. Life is so hard, and there is no more joy in anything else than giving food. And there is a non-profit organization in Ohio. They do this every summer, and every few months they do this drive, food drive. It's called food drive. They take kids to a homeless, are less privileged kids, where they make food bags. Every birthday I invite my daughter friends, and they decorate those food bags by themselves and go for that drive and donate food. It's so peaceful, and that way they learn the reality of life. And I think it's the home. Your home is for school, where you teach this thing to your kid, how you can support the community and make this world a better place to live for everyone.
You know, I'll share with you something I read and what you've just explained. You certainly, these are words you truly live by and set the example. I'm sure for more than your daughter, for your team. And I loved this quote that I found: as we work to create light for others, we naturally light our own way. At the end of the day, it's not about what you have or even about what you've accomplished. It's about who you've lifted up, who you've made better, and it's about what you've given back. It's such lovely words, but having the pleasure of talking to you recently and just hearing what you said, they aren't just words. It's your values. It's how you live, and it's incredibly inspiring. I know I've been inspired just in the short time I've had the pleasure of being around you.
Thank you, Karen.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you, Karen. Very close to my heart. These
Yeah.
words, these
Oh,
messages.
it's beautiful. You certainly lift me up. And I have a question that was my colleague Apollo, who was also very excited that we were having you as a guest today, had a lovely question we'd like to pose. When did clothes become art versus a necessity for you?
Clothes have been necessity for everyone, right? It's necessity for everyone, but art, I think I was born to be artist. I always had this artistic vision. I'm very introvert person, Karen. I rarely talk. I'm very quiet person because most of my energy goes into observing things. Like if I'm sitting here, I'm observing like those beautiful trees, flowers, nature, anything for that matter beautiful. And when I look at those beautiful things, I like to transform this into art, and that art I like to put into my clothes, my jewelry. I'm not very good cook. My daughter bakes, and she put her arts in her baking. Like she decorate food so beautifully. So anything, like for that matter, my sketches, my jewelry sketches, my clothes sketches, all my vision, I just observe things from nature and put it in my clothes. So art has always been very, very close to my heart, and I believe I was born with that artistic vision.
Well, it's on display quite beautifully in your collections.
Yes, I used to play dress up like dolls. I used to use some leftover fabrics. My mom had a small boutique when I was very young.
Oh,
I used to grab those leftover fabrics and create clothes for my dolls, hand sew them. Like, I did not know stitching at that time, and I used to find needle, thread, and sew clothes by hand. I was so obsessed with art and sewing clothes. I think I was born for that.
it's so lovely, and it's still your passion. I think you're right. I think you're born to do this, and it's so wonderful. Uh, and let's see. Well, I had also read that you launched your first collection during New York Fashion Week in 2019 and have been incredibly active in many fashion weeks since then. Can you tell us a little bit about your upcoming show in the 2023 New York Fashion Week coming up in actually a matter of days now?
Yes, I think just little bit over 1 week left. All the collection is ready. And again, we are supporting sustainable fashion in 2023 collection. And lot of girls with lot of beautiful causes are walking in my show. And uh, why I have those beautiful and powerful girls, because they have great social media platform, they have their voices, they have their um, great profile, where when we they will walk and promote this cause, more people would learn about it. They will listen this from her, from those beautiful girls, and follow good practices for sustainable and recycling fabric. So this is the main theme of this year. And in March, I will be reusing same pieces from the collection in the Unchained show. So yes, and I cannot reveal much because that collection is about to be launched, but it's going to be colorful collection, and we will come up with statement jewelry. Also, we'll be playing a lot with jewelry. And another thing I would like to showcase in this show, that we how jewelry can change the look of a piece. Any simple piece, we can play with jewelry and create different looks and elevate the look by just changing the jewelry with one simple, sustainable, and high quality couture piece. And it can be worn over and over.
That's wonderful. You
Yeah.
know, it's such a wonderful way to feel like you're doing something good and remain fashionable.
Yes.
That, that, that's incredible. I look forward to seeing that. And it's been such a pleasure having you. The last quote I have for you is every day I try to learn something new and do at least one act of kindness to bring joy to others. Well, I'm sure you had a busy day, but you have certainly brought joy to me. And I sincerely appreciate you have a collection coming up. You're very busy and taking the time to speak with us today. I'm very grateful and appreciate it. And appreciate all that you're doing for so many causes, and being so responsible in something you actually love and being a leader in sustainable fashion.
Thank you so much, Karen. Feeling is mutual, taking time out and spreading word about what I do, what my mission is, means a lot to me. So, if more people are listening, and I would just give this one message to our audience: follow good practices, and let's join hands together and make this world a beautiful place to live for all of us.
That beautiful parting words, Anjali. I so appreciate you being here today and for joining me. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And if you enjoyed our conversation, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Hope to see you next time. Thank you, Anjali.
Thank you, Karen.